My little bluegill. One of them, I got two in there. Well, hey all, I hope you're doing well today. I thought I'd do a quick video showing you my aquaponic system. This is just a hobby level. It's kind of confined space here, but and it's kind of, this is in pretty bad looking shape, to be honest, but I'm about to clean it and take some of these plants and transplant them. And so before I do that, I wanted to show you the results of how I use my aquaponic system. First off, it's a hobby level. So it's very important to stress that this is just a hobby. There should be another bluegill down in there, probably hiding by the pump is where it always hides. There it goes, little tiny. So I got a big one and a small one in there. And this is just an old ice chest. An old, I don't know how many gallons or whatnot, you know, the big family fun size, and just hook a shut-off valve up to the drain port for use when necessary, but it's never been necessary really. I may drain some of the scum every now and then, but the filter will pick up most of it, and I'll clean that out every now and then, and it just runs up to an outflow. And then of course fills this area. The level stays consistent because of the drain, and the drain is just, look at that, there's even roots trying to go down the drain. Yeah, it just drains off and keeps it consistent. I'll use like a coffee can with a bunch, lots and lots of holes, because plenty of flow through for the root system. And this actually has nothing in it at the moment, but these have tomato plants, and that's actually rice. I'm experimenting with that, and that's just a house plant. But what I'm using it for mostly is to keep two tomato plants as like a mother plant, and I take cuttings off of them, and then we'll transplant them outside into the garden or whatnot. And that's what I want to show you. So what I'll do is I'll just snip a cutting off of the mother plant, plug it into a piece of styrofoam that floats. Of course, you want to make sure that your cutting goes all the way down to the water level, and just give it a little bit of time, and voila, roots will grow. So these roots are about to get transplanted and into the dirt. I'm not going to continue the plant in the aquaponic in the liquid medium. I'll do more testing on that like throughout winter, but right now outside time is the best for a better harvest. So I'm using this to root my transplants. No chemicals, no hormones, nothing. Just cut it. You got to make sure that there's a node, the proper node for the plant to continue to grow up and produce, and not just a middle section cut. But you'll have to learn about that more on your own. But it's a great little system. It's very low power. It's not that not high energy consumption. I can get it set up for 12 volt and tap it into solar panel, which would be just outside the window, and that's it. So yeah, it's really a fun system. Let me put this on pause and reach down there and plug it in. It's going to make a bunch of noise, but what I'm going to do is clean this up, rearrange it a little bit, put some fresh cuttings in there, and I'm likely to just show this video in chronological order. So the dirty stuff first, and this has been like this all summer. I cleaned it, I think in February or sometime in the winter, maybe not even. This could even be all winter long. I learned last year, I had it outdoors, but the green algae just grew up ridiculous. So this is kind of inside, but it's also an open window room. It's not air conditioned or anything, and it's been keeping the algae level down. Now this isn't quite, I suppose, as traditional as some aquaponic systems, where the fish are supposed to be able to feed off of plant material, but this one I do have to make sure that they have enough food. Bluegills are very great fish. It can eat the algae on the rocks, and it can eat all kinds of stuff, but I do throw in some scraps every now and then for it. And that one's actually, they're gonna probably just stay the size of their container. It's not like I'm gonna harvest this fish, but I'm learning more about the system, and someday when my containers get larger, then I will be able to harvest the fish. All right, so let me pause it and plug it in and show you it in operation. All right, do another little piece of my biscuit in there that I had for breakfast. So yeah, that's it. It just pumps it up from the bottom container, which is, like I said, just an old ice chest that was already laying around. This pump will pull the water up. I made a homemade filter using nylon mesh material from a screen mesh, and wrapped it around some PVC pipe, plugged it into place. And so, of course, as the water falls and hits the lower container, it aerates it, allows more air, or produces air into the water for the fish to breathe. But again, if I have a power outage or if something goes wrong, these bluegill can survive easily. So far, 2 days that I've had a power outage, and I'll swirl the water around a little bit if I'm worried about them. But they're pretty good fish. I figure you'll know then there's a big problem when the fish are coming up to suck air at the surface level, and I have not seen them stressed or worried. These fish have been in this container for, this will be their 2nd year, so they've been in there for 2 years. They're doing good, and yeah, so that's it. See, I'm gonna go get these planted, and I'll make some fresh cuttings. All right, part 2, and I did some cleaning on the upper tank, which I clearly forgot to mention is a utility sink. And again, you can control the level of the top tank's water by controlling the drain. And I just used this fits the drain for the utility sink, and I'm not certain the exact name of this, but it doesn't matter. It's part of a sink, I believe. And it just happened to fit just right, and so it is an appropriate level that worked for me for like these coffee cans. And so that's what I went with. Or I could, I do have another version that is much higher and would allow the plants to ride higher up on the utility sink's edge so that I could get more light to the plants. That's when it was outdoors. And again, I don't run lights on this system. It's just coming through the window. So some daylight coming through, and I will run just you know, an incandescent or just any kind of light for a couple of hours after sunset, just to kind of keep it photosynthesizing well. And on that note, photosynthesis, I don't worry too much about the algae, a little bit, but once it gets to be so much algae, I worry about it taking oxygen out of the water. And the idea is to allow the fish to have most of that oxygen, as well as the roots. The plant roots need oxygen as well. So every now and then I'll scrub it, but I've noticed that in low light conditions, I have low algae conditions. So it works for me. Again, this is not about harvesting at this moment. It's about rooting cuttings. So currently I just went in with avocado, blueberry, and I have no idea why, but I'm going to try cantaloupe and sugar baby watermelon. I don't know why, but these are the ones that I'm mostly concerned about. I'm about to put my avocado tree into the ground, and I'm going to cross my fingers that it survives winter. So I will make sure I have a backup in case it doesn't. And of course, never have enough blueberries. So again, just make sure that this goes, that the cuttings go all the way down into the water. And that almost looks like it's already got roots. Boy, you go, cantaloupe. No, I think it's some of those feelers. Yeah, so that's it. The water hasn't cleared just yet because of the cleaning. It's a very simple concept, really. I mean, you can make it, you can overcomplicate it if you want, but at least just to get a hang of of how it works and the ups and downs, and just to learn about it. I mean, you can literally just do this in a fish tank. If you can have a fish tank with a couple goldfish in it, you can do an aquaponic system. Just takes a little bit of creativity. In this case, that's a utility sink and an ice chest and a water pump. And that's it. It's getting kind of dark. The sun's long since set. And as far as the outflow being so close to the drain, yep, I am concerned about that as well. But I haven't worried about it too much because everything's doing well. I can just simply put a longer pipe in here and get the flow to come down over here. But what was happening is I was getting a lot of roots, or the styrofoam would float over here and start clogging the drain. And so I think it's just fine. I think there's enough air in this system that even though it's falling so close and half of it's going straight down the drain, I'm not too concerned about it. So again, that's another reason to experiment. So yeah, give it a shot. Figure out how you can have an aquaponic system and give it a shot, because you never know when that skill may come in handy. Alrighty, y'all. Hope you have a great one. Take care. Bye.